Yeah, one other thing that you asked was about how did all these things happen, right? Like how did we come into existence? And one of the main things that you asked, where like Lord Shiva is sitting in the world of Mahakailasha, and still like we are described as his fragments, and like how is this possible to fathom? Like, yeah, this like I have discussed this, like a little bit before with you, if I remember. But still, like it's good to ask these things. It's good to have these kind of discussions very often. Like there is nothing wrong in asking it again. But like there are some things that is very difficult to fathom. Like we go by, like the Shruti is the ultimate authority, right? The Veda is the ultimate authority, and then we have the Puranas to understand at the end of the day, and we go by that. We try to read that, depend on that, and then try to gain that level of experience where we realize Lord Shiva. The revelation or the realization about Mahadeva comes with the help of the scriptures at the end of the day, right? So there are some things that it is very difficult to fathom. Like it's based on the level of bhakti that you do. Things will get unveiled slowly. But like in simple words, to answer your question, it is beyond, like it is very difficult to fathom actually, because Lord Shiva itself is described as achintya means inconceivable. He cannot be conceived very easily. It's very difficult to fathom. But like to answer, like in short, what you are talking about, if you see, there are two verses interestingly in Bhagavad Gita, like, and the Upanishads also talk about this. In Bhagavad Gita is also described the words of Lord Shiva. But if you see, there is the aspect of, there is the Upanishadic aphorism called Sarvo Vai Rudraha, which means everything is Lord Shiva, right? And there is also the statement Kadrudraya Prachetase Medushtamaya Tavyase Vochema Shantamagam Hride. I reside in the hearts of all the living entities, or Rudra or Shiva resides in the heart of all the living entities, Kadrudra. And there is also the statement which says Vishwadhipo Rudro Maharshihi. He is beyond this universe, the one who doesn't have any relationship with this universe, and he is beyond all these things. So how can it be where he is beyond the universe and still, like at the same time he is present as everything, and he is present at the same time he is present in the hearts of all the living entities? Quite contradicting, right? Very difficult to understand and fathom. That is Lord Shiva. So in simple words, if you see, he is, that's where like the answer comes. He is there in Mahakailasha. He is still there. He is eternally present there. But he takes that fivefold form. Like if I have to go from USA to India, right, I will have to move. Like I cannot be in both USA and India. But when it comes to Lord Shiva, he can still stay in the world of Mahakailasha and still manifest himself and do the creation and maintenance of, and take care of the destruction of all the worlds, and still reside in Mahakailasha. So he is manifold. Virupebhyo Vishwarupebhyascha vo namo namo. He is manifold. Manifold forms he can take. At the same time, he can exist in multiple places. That's what. So for the, like the universe at the end of the day, for this, like taking care of the karmas of all the jivatmas and everything, he appears as Maheshwara and Sadashiva and Rudra, right? And then Brahma and Vishnu also originate. So Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra, Maheshwara, Sadashiva. But still, like just because he appears as Sadashiva doesn't mean that he disappears from the world of Mahakailasha. He is still there. He is still there, like eternally enjoying with his devotees, like experiencing unflinching, unadulterated love from his Mukta Jivas, both Amba and Paramashiva. But still, at the same time, he manifests, like as Sadashiva, Maheshwara, and Rudra, like, and then, he takes care of the creation, maintenance, destruction, and then putting the Jivas into illusion and then giving grace, right? To this only, like Panchabrahma Upanishad says, very difficult, right? Very difficult to fathom. That is Lord Shiva. Panchabrahma Upanishad very interestingly says that Panchakrityani Yantaram pancha brahmatmakam brihat, pancha brahmopa samharam, kritva swatmani samstitaha. So all the Pancha Brahmas or the Pancha Brahmans, the Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra, Maheshwara, Sadashiva, they appear. Pancha Brahmatmakam Brihat. The knowledge about that Pancha Brahman is the supreme. Pancha Brahmopa Samharam. After Samhara, after the 5 Brahmans or the Pancha Brahmans disappear, Kritva Swatmani Samstitaha. Kritva Swatmani Samstitaha. Still that supreme reality exists, and that is what is the supreme Parashiva or Mahadeva, who is residing in the world of Mahakailasha, who is always there at the end of the day, right? And then when there are crores and crores of universes like this. We are just staying in one universe, and we are in the planet Earth. There are millions of planets like this belonging in this galaxy, and there are millions of galaxies present in the universe, and there are millions of universes like this, and each and every universe has one Sadashiva. And if we start focusing on this, it will be very difficult to fathom. I've tried actually, but it's good. I think at the end of the day, I'm very much motivated, and I'm very much happy that you're asking these kind of questions, because only when you get to that, people who want to understand that level, it's they will ask these questions. Definitely it's very difficult to fathom, and lot of things are hitting my mind. Even if you see in Padma Purana, it might be a very long explanation, sorry about that, but again, it will be helpful. I hope this you can keep this recording and keep hearing this whenever you have time. Okay, so even in the Padma Purana, and I used to wonder, there is a place where it says, the entire lifespan of Brahma is the 4 inhalings of Vishnu, right? And I used to wonder, if I inhale and exhale, nothing happens. But if Vishnu inhales and exhales, one Brahma appears and disappears. So how it is? It's very difficult, right? It's beyond imagination. And likewise, Chatur Nishvasa Matrena Vishnorayur Udakritam. The entire lifespan of Narayana is the 4 inhalings of Maheshwara. Very difficult to fathom. Oh, he does that, and then Vishnu appears and disappears, and then the entire 100 years of Vishnu's Brahma's lifespan is the 4 inhalings of Vishnu, whose lifespan is 100 years, and which is equal to 311 trillion human years. Oh, that's where that beyond imagination. It's very difficult, these kind of things. And the Mayavadis give a very good excuse by saying, oh, everything is mithya, all these things. You cannot escape that. But keeping that aside, going back to your ask, that's the thing. It's some things are that's the short explanation that I would like to give. Where it clearly says that he exists there, but it doesn't mean that when he appears to expand, and then he appears and then to protect and then give moksha, it's not like he disappears from there. So which kind of relates to going back to what I said from the Upanishadic statement, Sarvo Vai Rudraha, he's present everywhere. At the same time, he's present in the hearts of all the living entities who are going through their karmic activities and trying to attain Mahadeva. And at the same time, Vishwadipo Rudro Maharshi is beyond the universe, eternally enjoying with his devotees in the world of Mahakailasha, which is the highest spiritual world. So this is the short answer, but very difficult to fathom. And one other thing that came to my mind was the 2 verses of Bhagavad Gita, which is also the words of Lord Shiva. The 9th chapter interestingly talks about Maya tatam idam sarvam jagadavyakta murtina matstani sarvabhutani nachaham teshvavastitaha. And the 5th verse of 9th chapter, Nacha matstani bhutani pashyame yogamaishwaram bhuta brunnacha bhutasto mamatma bhuta bhavanaha. So, everything, all beings are in me and I am not in them. And at the same time, whatever that is created does not rest in me. He says, everything is in me at the end of the day. I am not in them. And at the same time, he says, yet everything that is created does not rest on me. So that refers to basically when, everything is in me, Like that represents the Sarvo Vairudraha statement in the Upanishads. But at the same time, everything created does not rest in me, which means that he is beyond the universe. He has nothing to do with this universe, which is a Dukalaya, and he is beyond the universe present in Mahakailasha, who is being served by crores and crores of millions of Mukta Jivas. Right? This is that explanation. And, like, kindly look at those verses that I've mentioned, all over. So that's the hope that gives an idea, at least something to fathom. Something to fathom, at least. Like, if you have any doubts on what I've explained, and if it is difficult to understand, let me know. We can have a call and we can, I can discuss. Hope that clarifies, man. Namah Shivaya.